Vision is a picture of the future that produces passion. Bill Hybels. You know, we are in the time of the year right now where we are reevaluating our goals. We're looking over this past year and seeing what went well, what didn't go well, what we want to change, what we want to take into the next year. And so many of us are probably in this season of creating vision boards. We are creating vision boards for our careers, for our businesses, for the money we want to manifest, for the cars and the houses we want to have in our lives. We are creating vision boards for almost every aspect of our lives. But when we know already that vision boards are really powerful, and we know how important vision is to have in our lives. But I'm here to remind you that having a vision for your relationship is just as important. Hi, my name is Sharika Matthews, life coach, relationship expert, and the creator of Feminine Success Mastery. And today I want to share with you the elements that you need in order to create a vision for your relationship. Whether you're single, dating, or in a long-term relationship, there has to be a vision, some idea of what you desire to create as a result of your relationship. Oftentimes we get into these relationships where we say we want to date because we don't want to be alone. But relationships are more about that. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Relationships are created to help you grow. Relationships are created to allow the love of God to flow through you and to another person, and also for you to experience the love of God from another person to you. So relationships are more than just creating or filling a void in your life. Relationships are created to enhance your life. But sometimes when we are dating, or even we're already in a relationship, we're not getting that sense of happiness and fulfillment because we don't have a vision. As the Bible says, the people will perish without a vision. Or actually says it's the other way around. Without a vision, the people will perish. And that's true for us. That's why relationships get stale. That's why we tend to get bored in our relationships. And this is probably, if I may even dare to say, this may also be the reason why some people in relationships tend to stray outside of the relationship, because there's no vision. And without a vision, there's no passion. Without a vision, you don't have anything you're working towards. Without a vision, you don't have anything to get excited about. And so we want to be intentional about creating a vision for our relationships. If you are single or you're just in a dating process but not really in a committed relationship, you can use this vision for your relationships as a guide for who you should date, as a litmus test to figure out, okay, is this person the right person to partner with in order to manifest the vision that I have for my relationship? And it's also a good litmus test to see if your vision for a relationship is the same or similar as his vision for a relationship. No, we don't often see men sitting around creating vision boards and having vision board parties, but men who desire committed relationships and men who desire marriage are very clear that that's what they desire, and they have an idea of what that relationship looks like. They have an idea of how they want to feel. They have an idea of what that relationship is going to produce. That's why men are particular. They are selective when deciding who it is they want to partner with and who it is they want to marry. And you should have that same selectivity when it comes to manifesting your relationship. Now, if you are currently in a relationship and you want your relationship to go to deeper and newer levels, creating a vision together is a powerful tool in order to make sure, number one, you're on the same page. Number two, you're still moving in the same direction. And a vision is more than just goals. You see, sometimes when we're having these conversations with our partners or potential partners, we're talking about goals, but not really painting a picture. You see, your vision is what creates the goals that dictates your action that produces results. Let me repeat that again. Your vision is what creates the goals that dictates the action that produces the results. So if you're not getting the results that you want in your dating life, if you're not getting the results that you want in your relationship, you might want to go back and take a look at that vision. And make sure your vision is clear. Make sure your vision is specific. Make sure your vision encompasses what it is that you desire. And remember that your vision can change and evolve as you change and evolve, and as your relationship changes and evolves as well. So you want to be very specific and very intentional about creating that vision. And if you're in a relationship, bring your partner into the conversation as well, because if you create a vision for your relationship and he is not in agreement with it, that's going to cause all kinds of discord. Or if you have a vision and haven't even communicated it to him, he don't even know what it is that you want, and you're holding him accountable for a vision he don't even know about, nor has he agreed to. Or what if you both have visions for a relationship and your visions are nowhere on the same highway, not even the same lane, not in the same highway, not even going the same direction. And so that is a time for you to revisit your relationship, revisit what's going on in that relationship, and make sure that you both are in the right relationship where you both can flourish together. Okay, so let's talk about the elements that you need in order to create a vision for your relationship. And I'm going to pose these elements as questions, because these questions were created to give you a guideline to inspire a vision, to inspire a mental picture of what it is that you desire in your relationship. And I have 4 questions that I want to share with you. Okay? So if you don't have pen and paper, I want you to go ahead and grab it and take notes on this, okay? The first question I want you to ask is, how do I want to feel in this relationship? How do I want to feel in this relationship? And this is important as women, because oftentimes, especially my ambitious and high achieving women, we get in this habit of doing and achieving, and we disconnect from our heart. We disconnect from our feelings and our emotions. So I want to start here. As a woman, I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to feel in your relationship? Do you want to feel safe, secured, loved, validated, comfortable? Do you want to feel adored? Do you want to feel respected? How do you want to feel? And I want you to just really close your eyes and feel those feelings. Now, I'm going to put an asterisk by this too, because every woman probably wants to feel all those feelings I just said, right? But you want to make sure when it comes to creating a relationship that manifests all of these feelings, that you first have those feelings with yourself. You create those feelings with yourself. In a previous video, I talked about not losing yourself in a relationship. And part of making sure that you are rooted and grounded into who you were created to be, that means that you already feel secure outside of the relationship. You already feel comfortable outside of the relationship. You already feel safe and protected outside of the relationship. You already feel loved outside of the relationship. You give yourself all the things that you want to feel outside of the relationship, so that when you come into the relationship, you create this relationship, that this relationship isn't attempting to fill a void that only you can feel or only God can feel. Remember, relationships enhance your life. It doesn't create your happiness. It doesn't create your safety. It doesn't create your security. It adds to it. But you must first have a baseline of self-love, a baseline of securing yourself, a baseline of self-respect before you can manifest that into your relationship. So in your relationship, the first step we want to have in creating this vision for yourself, for your relationship, is how do you want to feel? Take a few moments and close your eyes and get a really good picture, or really for this one to get a really good feeling of what it feels like to have your self-love enhanced. What does it feel like to have your security enhanced? What does it feel like to have your sense of protection enhanced? What does it feel like to have your sense of self-adoration enhanced? What does it feel like to have your sense of honor enhanced? What does that feel like to have that enhancement taken to the next level? So that's the first thing that you want to ask yourself when creating your vision. The second thing you want to ask in creating your vision is, what do you want to build or create? In other words, what do you want your contribution to the world to be? We don't often talk about this. At least I don't hear couples talking about this very often. What do you want your contribution to the world to be? You know, from a man's point of view, most men, when it comes to committed relationships and marriages, want to secure the family. They want to build up as much wealth as they can. They want to build up as much retirement savings as they can. They want to build up as much personal savings as they can, because they want to make sure that if anything happens to them, that their family is going to be taken care of. But your relationship is bigger than just your household. So how do you as a couple, how do you as a family want to contribute to the world? Is there something you want to build? Is there something you want to create? And that could even be creating children, creating an extension of you. It could be creating a scholarship fund. It could be creating a business that breaks generational wealth curses. It could be something as simple as creating a habit within your family of volunteering at the homeless shelter to feed the homeless once a month. It could be any of those things. But create a vision, have a sense of what it is that you want to build or create. And I actually want to go back here for a second. I actually forgot a note that I wanted to highlight before I went into these steps. So let's rewind for a second and go back. So before you sit down and create this vision, you want to be clear on what your values are. If you've ever taken a master class from me, if you've ever enrolled in my courses, you know that I am a big stickler of knowing what your true values are. And you want to be clear on what your partner's values are as well. Because if your top 5 values are misaligned, if your top 5 values are opposite in priority than his, it's going to be difficult to create a vision where you both come together and agree on something. Because if he doesn't have in his value system a sense of community in the top 5 or maybe top 10 value system, it may be hard to get him on board with donating 10% of your salary to charity or 20% of your salary to charity. Even though that's a top 5 value for you and you're passionate about it, and you were even passionate about this before you got married or before you got into a relationship, a lot of people in marriages merge their incomes together. And so if he's not normally a charitable person, it's going to be very hard to convince him that this is worth giving 20% of your salary. So before you sit down and write out all of this vision and all of these dreams and stuff, you first want to reconnect with what your true values are in this season and what his true values are in this season. Because while most of our value systems stays the same throughout our lives, sometimes depending on what season you're in, those values can switch in priority. So maybe community was number 1 on your priority list, 5 years ago. But now personal freedom or personal expression is now top on your priority list. And so there's no right or wrong on what should be a priority and what should not be a priority. It's all about who you were created to be. That's why it's important to be solid and rooted into who you are before you get into a relationship, and remain rooted and grounded in who you are while you're in the relationship, so that as you begin to grow and mature and evolve, you don't feel any type of insecurity or even a sense of judgment against someone else who's not growing and maturing like you are, or may not have the exact same values as you have. So just because you may not have the same exact values doesn't mean it's not going to work. You just want to make sure that your value systems are complementary to each other, so that when they come together, it's almost like a lock and key that fit perfectly together and unlock this superpower between you guys to actually build and create and grow a relationship that's truly a force to be reckoned with. So I wanted to go back and add that note before we got into all of the questions, all of the elements, really, of what it takes to build a vision for your relationship. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, how do you want to feel? The second question you want to ask yourself is, what do you want to build or create? Or in other words, what do you want to contribute to the world? So that's the first two. The third element is, what do you want to experience? What do you want to experience? Because there's this saying that relationships is both a den of pleasure and a laboratory of growth for both of you. So what do you want to experience in your relationship? Do you want to experience excitement, passion? Do you want to experience adventure? Do you want to experience, just whimsical fantasies? Do you want to experience a hot sexual life? Like, that's a true desire for a lot of women that we don't talk about. We're going to talk about that thing sooner than later, okay, ladies? But it's okay to really say, what do I want to experience with my man? Like, do you want to travel the world with your man and experience touching a polar bear with your right toenail? Like, whatever it is that you want to experience, you want to get a clear picture of that, because that is directly tied into how you want to feel in your relationship. So, because that was the first question we asked. Then we asked, what do you want to contribute, and how does that actually make you feel? That actually ties back to how do you feel. Now you say, what do I want to experience in my relationship with my husband, with my partner? Do you want to experience great success? Do you want to experience great happiness? Do you want to experience great physical passion? Do you want to experience great competition? Some couples thrive on competition. It's not healthy for every couple, but some couples really thrive on that. So what do you want to experience in your relationship? So that's the third element. The fourth element is, what areas do you want to grow in your relationship? Remember that I said earlier, relationships can be both a den of pleasure and a laboratory of growth for you both. And we can always have fun. That's what the experiences are for. But in what areas do you want to grow together or as an individual in your relationship? Do you want to grow in your faith? Do you want to grow in your mental knowledge? Do you want to grow in your spirituality? Do you want to grow in your ability to have deeper conversations? Do you want to grow in your discernment? Do you want to grow in your intuition, being able to spiritually and mentally connect with your mate without them having to say a word? How do you want to grow in your relationship? And in what areas do you want to grow together as a couple? I often hear women say that they really want to grow spiritually with their spouse, but they're afraid to ask for that because they feel as if that they're more spiritual than their husband is. And that is something that is a real challenge in a lot of relationships. But if you both agree on a vision, then that vision creates the goals. The goals dictates the actions, and the action manifests the results. So you first have to start with the vision. You just can't say, oh, I want to grow more spiritual. No, create the vision, then agree upon the vision with your husband, and then set the goals to allow that to happen, then put it into action and manifest the result. So what areas in your relationship do you want to grow? And one of the things that I am doing differently this year when it comes to creating my vision, I used to create vision boards for, I don't want to say, I didn't have a timeline for my vision, right? I used to just create a vision board of everything I wanted to manifest in my life. And it was a huge vision board. But what I am doing this year is create a vision board just for this year so that I can get more laser focused on what my goals should be and get more laser focused on the actions I need to take in order to take my relationship, my business, my career, my health all to the next level. So I want to encourage you when it comes to creating a vision for your relationship, let's focus on the vision for your relationship for the next 12 months. Instead of saying, well, I want to be married in 5 years, or I want to have a vision of us having 20 kids. Let's just focus on this 1 year. And it's okay if you have two visions. You could have a big overall vision and then narrow it down to this 1 year. But I want us to get more intentional about being laser focused about our vision, getting laser focused about what we want to create and manifest in this next 12 months. All right, you guys, I hope that this video was really something that makes you think, makes you really dig deep and set new vision for your relationship, or inspire new vision for how you choose to date and what to even look for while you're dating, so that you can manifest the relationship that you truly desire. So if you are a woman who's ambitious and who has a lot going on in her life, and you want to be a part of a safe community where there's other women like you, where we are free to talk about the challenges in our relationships, how we can achieve work-love balance, and how to balance out, all of the ambition we have to pursue our dreams and goals with the desire that we have for having a healthy, strong, and safe relationship, I invite you to come on over to my community, Relationship Success for High Achieving Women. You can find us over on Facebook, or you can have a direct link to that if you go to my website, SharikaAMatthews.com. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you have any questions or comments, leave your comments below. If this video really did help you kind of shift your perspective, go ahead and hit the share button and share this with your friends, your family, whoever you think could benefit from this. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. And as always, be bold, walk in your brilliance, and be completely unstoppable in the pursuit of what your heart truly desires in your life and in your relationships. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.